driving, you're learning to make your space safe. You're learning to get her on the road and be a safe, defensive driver. Seatbelt is on. The rear mirror is framed in the back window. Your driver's side mirror is slightly adjusted so you can see a little bit of the car when you simply look a little bit at an angle. Your right mirror, you want to lean in. This mirror is definitely out of adjustment. Now, I'm in a gas station. There's a lot going on. You have to be a defensive driver. We put our foot on the brake, and now it's in D. I'm going to show you the eye movement you need to have. I'm looking around. I'm checking traffic. I really want to be careful, and I'm going around the outside edge of the gas station. I'm checking traffic. Eye movement is critical. Now we're going to be dealing with a lot of traffic. We're going to be going on a Gratiot thoroughfare. I have to be aware of what's going on. There's so many options. Now I'm behind this gentleman. At least the lights on the trailer are working, but it's a hazard. You see how those washing machines and dryers are stacked? I may have to go around to the left, and I'm looking. Okay, I might have to go around to the left because of the volume of traffic, and we're going to have to make some turnarounds. And this takes patience. It takes time. I got to yield. Okay. And those are military people. We want to show love to our government. They have a government license plate on there. So we want to respect them. It's a lot of traffic. So we have to yield. We have to be patient. And you can see U.S. government for official use only. It is real. I'm going to turn on my right turn signal. We can only turn right. I had a client one time, I recall, he literally started turning left. Obviously, it was an automatic fail because you need to know exactly where you're going. Then we want to get over all the way to the left. We're going to make the left-hand turnaround. And I just want to be careful. Keep good space. When you're learning to drive, you're going to feel overwhelmed. This is very overwhelming. If you were with me right now, I would just take you one step at a time. Be patient. This is also a really good learning experience because of the volume of traffic. Therefore, you need someone who's experienced, who's going to take their time. This is a double left turn. You're either going to be in the outside lane all the way to the right, or the inside lane, the middle, or the left lane. On your test, if you turn in a wrong lane, it is an automatic fail. So you want to pause, you want to breathe for a second, and we're on time, we're not rushing, but the emotional stress of getting out here, getting in a car can be overwhelming. How would I know? Because I go through it just like my students. I want to make sure you're calm. I want to make sure you understand. And that is so critical to your success, that you have an experienced instructor who's patient, who's kind, and who's willing to help. So we're going to follow this road around, and then we're going to end up, we may take the Gratiot thoroughfare, we may go on the Expressway, because I want to be able to switch up the routine and give you a good perspective. We're going to take the Expressway this time. This will give you a different perspective. This is definitely a beautiful moment. And it's beautiful because of the day, the time, the moment, and the fact that we're learning how to drive. Anytime is a good time to learn how to drive. From my face, my energy, my emotion. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I've been teaching driver's ed, adults and teens, over 24 years, taught about 26.2K students. And we're going to be taking you through the Metro Midwest area. And I want you to ask questions. We're going to be getting on the I-94 Expressway. This goes through Michigan, Illinois, and then we're going to be getting on through to Indiana. So we want to take our time, be patient, And for a moment, we have a little peace. Okay? At the traffic light, we're going to make a right turn. Oh, I hope it's not closed. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Real life. So, we're going to have to take another route. So, we live and learn. And it's so, there must be a fatal on the expressway. So there's a lot. It's a lot of moving pieces. Because I looked over the bridge and they're sending people off. So this is going to add a lot of complexity to our drive, but this is why we're here. This is real life, and we're going to have to take the Gratiot thoroughfare. People are really upset. So I see them directing traffic off. We pray that they're okay. And I love this that it's real life. I don't love that someone got hurt or there's an injury. So you always have to be prepared for circumstances. My dad always told me, know a second or third route to work, to home, to your clients. And then we're going to be driving. Also, I have a great boss who says, if you're running late, if there's an accident, just text me, let me know. In about 15 to 20 minutes, if we're not going solidly, I'm gonna have to send a text because it's about communication. And I see the state police to the left, they're directing traffic. So we need to make allowances for everything. We need to, thank goodness I got fuel. Thank goodness I did everything I needed to do so I can definitely be safe. And what I need you guys to understand is you have to manifest safe driving skills. You have to fight for what you believe is best. And when you fight for what you believe is best, they're shutting down the whole expressway. They're directing traffic off the expressway. So my goal is to really narrate to you, and we might have to take a second or third route, which is going to put us 5 to 7 miles outside of our destination. But I have to understand this. And also the gentleman on the motorcycle, no helmet, incorrect shoes. They do have a partial leather on. So I just need to be aware. In essence, we're going to do the same route over. This is why I need you to understand it's very serious out here. And because I'm an instructor, I always talk about the state police side of it, the crash data. I always talk about the parents. I always talk about the instructional side. They're shutting it down. They're going to have to do an investigation. And then next, what would your parents say? Leave early, make sure there's gas in your car. So we are definitely doing that. And then your instructor would say, you need to plan, but you're not going to listen to me. I'm your instructor. You're not going to listen to your parent, and you're not going to listen to state police data. I go over state police data now in my showrunner shows that are a half an hour, 40 minutes, 2 hours long to really break down data, because I want to speak to you with intelligence. I want to speak to you with data, because if I was going through this over, I would want my instructor to give me the best data that's available. I would want my instructor to prepare me for what I'm going to face. And I would want my instructor to be real and honest with me. And that's what I want to bring you in my journey to teach you how to drive. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of you will not finish driver's education because of cost or family situation, or you're immature. Some of you will finish and finish early and get my blessing and your parents' blessing and get out there and drive and be safe. And so everyone's different. And just like me, taking the time to go live, to narrate, to tell you it's real driving out here. People lose their lives every day. And I'm trying to show you how accidents happen, why they happen, and then what we can do as a community, your mom, your dad, me as a driving instructor, the state police, legislation, and I want to continue to bring you the best that I can, the most current information, getting you out here with podcasts, with long form, with short form, because I want to be that resource, but it's going to take time. There's so many trucks out here, it's ridiculous. And this can bring crazy anxiety too. Like, you feel so small compared to these trucks. Everyone has a place to go. Downtown Chicago, downtown Detroit, downtown Houston, Texas. I'm gonna get over, and I'm trying to be very courteous. Sorry, there's a lot of noise here. You can hear the driver shifting gears. And thank goodness we're still in training. You know, we were just here 5 minutes ago, but that's okay. And I'm still fine for time. There's a lot of traffic. But this is a test to people's patience. People are not patient. We're human. To errors to be human, people are going to run lights. There's going to be someone who is riding their bike against the flow of the traffic. You need to ride with the flow of the traffic. There's going to be people who will walk toward traffic. Okay, if you're walking, you walk against traffic so you can be seen. There's going to be increased driving errors. People who are going 10 or 15 over the limit because they're late. I don't like that pressure. And when I first learned, I was the same way. That's a confession. But you get 1 or 2 tickets, you get your license almost taken away. That didn't happen to me, of course. You're gonna learn, like, I need to get up early. You almost lose a job, or you lose a job because you can't get up. Fortunately, that didn't happen to me. But you learn, and it's very stressful. So we're just gonna stay steady on our course, be patient. This traffic is no joke. And this is called a J turn. And we're on the outside. Remember, we were here about 5 minutes ago. So if you just tuned in, there was a fatal accident or an accident on I-94. Sorry, I'm a little loud. It's a lot of traffic. People are very stressed. People are running late. I have a great understanding boss. So just communicating and just being aware. We have fuel, so we don't have to worry. I did leave an hour early for work, but half an hour of that time has been eaten up already. I can get to work in about 28 minutes, 25 minutes, 27 minutes, but I don't want to start speeding and being aggressive. I want to drive smooth. But this is real life, and this is what I want to show you. You see these hundreds, if not thousands of cars. We're getting all the way over to the right, and everyone's trying to get where they're going. Everyone's cutting off people. And you see people with their emotion, you see their stress, and I'm trying to be that casual driver. And you're going to see triggered road rage. Part of us need to let drivers in, part of us need to just kind of slow down. So I'm going to let this lady in, I'm going to be nice, and I'll get my blessing, right? Good, she's got on a blinker. I'm fine with that. At least communicate your intention. Okay? We all need to get where we're going. And just being peaceful. Just understanding everyone's journey. And then we have to make a right turn. And what we want to do is just try to be smooth, not panic. Okay. All right. I'm going to stay in the nearest lane. Okay. This is going to be really educational for us because we're going to look at driving behavior. How are these people driving? What are they doing? Who's going to run a light? What is the average speed? There's so much science out here. Literally, science. How much science is out here? So this takes you through the journey. And if you didn't have a car, you will be getting on a bus. That has advantages. It's a lot cheaper. Cost of ownership is less. And then how to manifest good driving. You try to stay smooth. You're a defensive driver. You stay out of people's blind spots. Just following the curve. Taking time. And I'm going to change lanes to the left. Get over. And I'm looking ahead. It's a huge backup. Oh, I want to squeeze my brakes. You see how dumb stuff happens? See how dumb stuff happens? But I'm not going to lose my mind. And that's a great defensible driving moment. So many moving pieces here. Okay? You almost want to scream inside, but you have to stay calm. You can't lose your focus. And I'm trying to stay consistent. And you see bad characters here who are just cutting left, cutting right. In this case, the middle lane is the smooth lane. One of the safest things I can tell you is you want to be a safe defensive driver. Nope, I can't get over. I saw the white vehicle. See, I'm looking ahead. I'm going to get over one lane. Going around the curve. Using my blinker, I'm going to get over one lane to the left. I'm trying to be very intentional and deliberate. The driver has a brake light out. That can be a ticket. That can be an equipment violation. Right? We're going to squeeze our brake. Be patient. Okay? Breathe for a second. Everyone needs to just breathe and calm down. I feel a little bit anxious. We're in a huge metropolitan area. People are running late. Gas is low. You're late to your job, late picking up your child. It is stress. So you're going to see a lot of real elements, and I'm going to try to be on. I will be honest with you. I'm not going to try. I am. We're a little stressed. We're trying to take our time and just trying to be aware. I'm going to get over one lane. Okay. The truck is definitely going to be getting over. And I'm going to squeeze my brakes. Here's the truck getting over. But you can't completely fall apart. You can't fall apart at all. You've got to hold it together. And a lot of instructors, this is a unique situation. A lot of instructors are not talking about this. A lot of instructors are not showing you this. Because it's real, it's stressful, it's anxiety, and a lot of beginners just shut down and drive really slow. And if you drive slow, you become a hazard. And if you become a hazard, you're going to fail your test. And then your mom and dad, what are they doing? They're clocking your teeth. Boy, speed up. Girl, what are you doing? You almost hit a car, and then you just shut down. Because your parents are not an instructor. They're your mom and dad. I would drive slow when I was with my dad. I would drive fast with my mom. You figure that out. What's up with that? So we're gonna get over one lane. Now there's a moment of silence. And then we gotta breathe a second. And we don't know how far the expressway is shut down. It's a red light ahead, so we're gonna lift our foot. Hey, if you just joined us, there was a fatality on I-94. There's a large amount of traffic, anywhere from 30 to 40,000 commuters trying to get into the metro area. We're on the Gratiot thoroughfare, and this is what we use for our training. It's quiet, it's more consistent, and as an instructor, I'm taking you through the real emotional journey. A lot of instructors don't talk about this. They just tell you, suck it up. Well, I'm going to speak to you with my heart. You got to learn how to drive when you're under stress. You got to stay at the limit. Got to be patient. We want to try to be consistent and make most lights. If we go over speed, we're going to have to slam brakes or run lights, or you'll get a ticket. Don't need that. Fortunately, I got up an hour early. I left corporate at an hour, but that time has been eaten up. So we're just going to be patient. Take our time. Your heart is beating. You're starting to sweat a little bit because this is real out here. And I want to take you through this. So who am I? I'm an instructor. I have been teaching students 24 plus years, taught about 27.3K students. I do tutorials, virtual class, in-car. So I have about 7 years of video, and we're slowly editing it and getting it together to build training modules, master classes. Thank you. I appreciate you. And we're making show-reader content. I'm doing more long-form content, and then I'll be meeting with some other instructors and community leaders who want to bring driving into communities of color. We want to do socio-emotional learning. That's my real passion, right? So you're going to come with me on this journey. We're going to learn how to drive. We're going to talk about getting a job. You got to get to work on time. You got to communicate with your boss. So we're back out here, heavy traffic, and I'm trying to keep space. I was tired like all of us last night, coming from work, and didn't get gas. I had to get gas in the morning. And then I was planning to get on 94, but it was closed. There were multiple state police cars. So whenever that happens, it's a fatality. Could have been a rollover accident. Someone would have been thrown from the car. We want to pause for a second. We want to wish whoever is out there on the road, life is the most important thing. I think if you're under 35, this kind of drives you crazy. You're like, oh my God, I hate to stop and go. Can't they just go? I get it. You want to get there. You want to, get that promotion. But also, you got to arrive at work alive. Okay? We're at 30 in a 45. If you're driving this slow on your test, you will fail. But these are different circumstances. Okay? These are different circumstances. I'm going to tell you how I'm keeping my distance. You want the how and the why. I'm at about 37, 38. I'm not tailgating. I'm not cutting lanes left and right because you'll have a side swipe accident. You won't check your blind spot. I'm appreciative to just be moving at this speed. Okay, gas is $4.19, $4.29. Diesel is $5.49. That's impact. That's money. You got to have a job. And if you don't have a job, you won't be able to drive. And if you won't be able to drive, you won't get a good job. So you need transportation to get to and from clients, to and from opportunities. Until you find your niche, whether it's education, technology, AI, you're going to kind of be lost from that 16 to maybe 26. Okay, you're going to fill out apps, you're going to work in your area, but there are jobs around. These jobs have not been created yet, real talk. Okay? And I'm taking you through the process. If I was your uncle, and I would say, listen, we need to get some resumes together. Okay? You need to put it together online. You need to get your license as quickly as possible. You need to start learning how to drive. I would have you drive me to work in this heavy traffic, and I would say, don't crash my car. And I will have you come pick me back up in heavy traffic, so you know. And then I will let you drive it with your friends. Okay? A lot of times your parents won't have the time. They won't have the time to put you in this type of traffic because they're working, because they're like 29 to 69 or 29 to 79, right? We're trying to stack money, pay bills, get a car for you. But if you don't get your permit or license, we can't drive you. You see how slow this traffic is? Okay? We're at a slow 30. People are losing their minds because they can't drive 50, 60, 70, 80. You see the burnout marks here on the road? Okay? We're trying to be consistent, trying to be a safe defensive driver because we're human. This car does not have self-driving features. Okay? If people want to hit the gas real hard and brake check, they'll do that. If people want to tailgate you because they're upset, they'll do that. So you got to learn to kind of step back, take a breath, and analyze what's going on. Okay, we're almost up to I-94, but it still could be shut down. I'm going to get over early. I'm not going to speed off and cut off this truck. That's an intentional decision to keep the flow going. All of you can do what I just did, but it takes you a little bit longer. In teaching someone how to drive, it's a dry clinical science. Turn on your blinker. Look over your shoulder. Squeeze your brakes. See what I'm doing now? It's called threshold braking. I'm keeping space. I don't want to hit this gray colored vehicle. I'm going to take my time. And as the flow picks up, I want to gradually pick up. This is not a racetrack. This is a public thoroughfare. This is a Gratiot thoroughfare. And we are just want to be consistent. And I'm giving the person in the box truck room. We're working together. We all want to arrive alive. And I think a lot of you, when you're under 30, you have the kryptonite quotient. I'm going to live forever. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to put videos out there that will basically follow you forever and could prevent you from getting a job. Real talk. Okay? We're going to go slow around the curve. And there's a red light. I was focusing on this gray car, wasn't looking up at the light. So you got to do both. Okay? You're from Ohio. They have a temporary license plate in the window of the car, the back window. Okay? Out there, guys. I always keep hitting buttons. I'm human just like you. So we're trying to breathe, be patient. The lane to the left of me, where the truck is, this car to my left over here will end. So this is going to be like a zipper merge. So we're just going to take our time. I recall having my early beginning drivers stay in this lane. They can't. So we're going to accelerate. And we're going to pick up. And on your test, you can't cross a solid line. Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, New York. So we're going to model safe driving practices. And we're going to turn on our left turn signal. Blinkers on. And you're gonna see a white truck. They're in my blind spot, and then I'm just gonna come in right behind them. Okay? Right into the first lane. That was good. Okay? You wanna try to merge out to your nearest lane, keep up speed. Now we're gonna turn on a left turn signal. We're gonna accelerate. I suggest starting in the first lane. Breathe for a moment. Now we're in the middle lane. And then you're gonna get a chance to see all 3 lanes. Kind of settling down, you're moving pretty good. Don't stare at the speedometer, don't look down. We're gonna turn our left turn signal. And I'm looking over my shoulder. I just checked my blind spot. And now I'm in the left lane. That vehicle has an M on there. That's a manufacturer's license plate. That could be a 2029, a 2030. We are moving, my brothers and sisters. I'm gonna get over one lane. I'm gonna be in the middle. All right. The truck needs to get over. We're in the middle lane. We're moving nicely. I'm scanning, looking ahead. I want to stay out of the blind spots of other vehicles. No blinker with the gray truck. I'm going to be a defensive driver and get out of their way. And I need to slow down too fast. And then I'm going to get back over. And this is what you're supposed to do in the highway transportation system. We're not going to ride the left lane. The left lane is for passing. And if I need to get back over because of these slow moving vehicles, I'll do that. So I made an early decision. And I'm back over. Okay? You see what it feels like, what it looks like. And then you turn the wheel gradually. Okay? They're veering a little bit. I'm lifting my foot because I don't want to tailgate. Things are smoother. I'm looking ahead. I'm going to turn on my right turn signal. I'm going to get back over. And that's what they should be doing. Okay? And then we pass them. No hate, no anger. Just take care of your business. Go in slow to the curve, lift it a little bit. I don't know what they're doing. Maintain a good speed. I'm going to stay in the middle lane. I'm lifting my foot. Before I go into the curve, we talked about this in our showrunner masterclass. I'm lifting my foot some more. Centrifugal force is pulling me to the left. Taking my time. I'm going to get over one lane to the right. I'm going to readjust because I'm going to hit traffic. So I'm going to lift my foot. I'm going to get over. Use your blinker. Take your time. We want to stay away from the semi-truck. This car is really tailgating me. I'm telling you what your brain goes through. I'm lifting my foot. My heart is pounding. This is real. But it's exhilarating too. The goal is not to cut off cars to see how many people you can pass. The goal is to be a safe defensive driver and avoid potentially dangerous situations. There's a semi-truck behind me. I want to show you that. You should be able to see that semi-truck. They are moving. And then ahead of us, there could be a traffic backup. So I'm signaling early, taking my time. I'm being patient. Come up the ramp. I want to have a light slowdown. I'm squeezing my brake. Whew, that was a situation here. Okay, you'll get a minus for that. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to be safe. It was stressful going because there was an accident. We had to get fuel. I left an hour early. I'm barely going to make it. It's about communication. The sun out here, as you can see in the video. And I want this to be real with you so you know that sun, and I'm not even trying to shield it, this is why you have to have sunglasses in the morning. This will put strain in your eyes. It's hard to see cars, right? All right, we're going to be making a left-hand turnaround. And this is a J turn. Oh, I want to see the rear of the tires. You have to be mature to get up. You got to be mature to go to bed early, to get your clothes ready, to take care of your vehicle. Driving won't make you an adult. I got to pause, and then I'm going to make my left, okay? We'll be discussing block safety cameras, advantages, disadvantages, communities. There's so many moving parts. But now we have to be at 30. We're heading into a school zone. Patience, dependability, consistency. You got to show up. I want you to show up when I go live. I want you to show up and subscribe. I want you to show up and ask questions. You have a person who's extremely social. And then I'm going to help you. Okay? A lot of these instructors just don't do anything. I'm going to help you. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to teach you. Okay? Okay? You got to take pride in yourself. Pride in being consistent. Pride in having a good parking spot. We spoke truth today. A lot of moving parts. I want to say thank you. I love you. Subscribe. I'll be going live on the way home. And if we can get things together, I will try to go live this evening. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. And talk about and share your story or journey about driving and getting your license. Bye.